Casey, we'll come on to the social media stuff in a minute. I just ask you obviously about the game first. It's polite and it's what you're here to discuss primarily. Is the whole kind of philosophy for the rest of the season, the remaining games, just to get where you can and see where that takes you, and maybe miracles happen elsewhere?
That's all we can do, James. We can only control what we can in terms of consistency in our performances. I thought we were very good on Sunday, so I'm going to ask for the same again in terms of the way we played, the way we used the ball, the chances we created, and also the way we finished them, which was really pleasing. We executed well at the times we needed to. So all we can do is try and maximise the points that we've got available and hope that, Arsenal drop points elsewhere.
I wanted to ask you about someone you played with at Charlton. I think you played with her at Liverpool and Arsenal, Fara Williams, but I think it was back at Charlton days and obviously for England as well. And she's calling time at the end of the season. I guess you'd pay tribute to someone who's done amazing things for the women's game.
I met Fara when she was late for her first ever trial at Chelsea at 14. I was in the first team and she came for a trial at the Centre of Excellence back then. And you could tell straight away that the kid was an absolute talent. You really could. I think she's had an unbelievable career. She turned her talent into a special career against a lot of barriers, if I'm honest. As a teammate, I'm really proud of what she's achieved. As a person, I'm really proud of everything she's become. And she is, I think, an icon of the game. You don't get that many caps that easily. And she made her debut at 16. And I'm not surprised because she was that good at 16. And her game intelligence and understanding is second to none.
But does that almost feel like a kind of different era, another world away, bearing in mind how quickly things have travelled since?
Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't have somebody living on the streets now, would you, if they're a professional player? You look at where she's come from and what she's achieved, the things she's overcome. She's always had like my era. We're dwindling now, people that have had jobs and, loved the game, played the game outside of it. But I just hope she stays in it because she has so much to offer this game and it'll be poorer without her.
And just on the social media thing, I noticed that you were fairly outspoken again, quite rightly, after what happened with Lauren. With the boycott coming, is that enough? Or is it taking to people like Mark Zuckerberg what you've got to start doing?
It's not enough because we go silent for 4 days, which it's part of it because you're taking away the social media influence. So you are taking it away, but I think you can have a voice too. And those people have to be, like I said on my social media, is that the behaviours and values they align to. If it isn't, do something about it because they're the only people that can do something. And the more people that boycott, if millions and millions and millions were to boycott, then they might, when it starts hitting their pockets, they might start doing something about it. But whilst I see my player be racially abused on a daily basis, I will stand up and I will speak out and I won't accept it. It's my responsibility to understand, learn more and challenge it.
And I think we can forget sometimes when we talk about managers, whether they be male or female, you're pretty much stand-in parents. You see more of them when they're younger players than their parents do.
Yeah, and I met Lauren when she was 14 at Arsenal. So I've seen her as a young kid. She's grown up with me now. And you build a relationship with these players and you care about them, no matter their age. They become part of your outside family when you're here with them. I'm here with these players more than I'm with my kids. So I have a responsibility and a duty of care for them. And I have a responsibility to stand up.
Thanks, Casey. Good luck Sunday and hope West Ham do you a favour tonight.
Cheers, James. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Moving on to Dom, please, from Radio Manchester.
Hi, Casey. Are you okay?
Hi, Dom. You well?
I'm very well, thank you. I just wanted to ask, this season's been unlike no other in terms of all the things. There's been so much going on off the pitch for good and bad. How sort of emotionally draining has it been for you as a manager of a football club?
It's been a long year. It's been a tough year. It's been a year like I would never, ever, hopefully never experience again because of COVID, and we don't ever want a pandemic. But I think at times like this, you learn an awful lot about yourself in a managerial role, your flaws, your weaknesses, your strengths, and also how good the people are around you. And I'm very lucky that I've got a fantastic team around me. I've got an incredible group of players. And if I think it's been draining for me, it's been 10 times harder for my players in terms of the emotional side and not being able to see people. Like I haven't seen my mum since July. So that's been tough. I haven't seen my family. But some of my players live overseas. They've not seen their family, can't go home, can't contact them. So yeah, it's been really tough. But I always see these moments as opportunities to grow and learn as a human being and as a head coach.
You mentioned some of the lessons you've learned there personally. Are there any in particular that have surprised you, maybe?
I think how adaptable we are as people. You know, I look at my kids, they're 6, and how they've adapted and just got on with things. And we've done the same in our team, how adaptable we've been, how we've changed in every moment, how we just get on. And no matter what's thrown at us, we adapt, we move, we keep working, and how focused my players have been able to stay throughout. And we've had lots and ups and downs this season, loads. But how that we've stuck together throughout all of it.
And just with Bristol City next, what's the message to the players going forward until the end of the season now?
I'm asking for a same performance, if not better, from last week. Consistency in our performances, and you know, a confidence and belief, which I feel we had last week, that we need to take into next week.
And just finally from me, I mean, you spoke about third being the aim this season. How will you assess this season if that doesn't turn out to materialise?
A failure on my part.
And reasons for that, maybe, Casey? Sorry to press on.
Yeah, listen, we've set out to hit top 3. We haven't got it, so I'm the head coach of the team. I take responsibility for that. I'll look at all angles. If we had every single player fit throughout the season, would we have had more of a chance? Yeah, of course we would have. But we lost games where we could have won them. We missed chances at crucial moments in games. And I'm responsible for that.
Cheers, Casey. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dom. Alex, next, please.
Hi, Casey. How are you?
Hi, are you okay?
Not too bad, thanks. You're going up against Bristol City side, who are quite literally fighting for their life in the WSL. How different do you prepare for a game like this? You know, outside of footballistic wise, outside the tactical perspective of it, you're going up against a team who's quite literally playing with their hearts. How do you prepare how do you prepare your players to go up a team? Sorry, I can't speak. How do you prepare your players to go up against a team like this?
I don't prepare any differently, to be honest. I think you have to have consistency in your preparation, whether you're playing Arsenal, we're playing Bristol, we're playing Man City, we're playing West Ham. It's about trying to win the game. Yes, you have to be mindful that they're playing for their lives. But then when we play Arsenal, they were playing for the Champions League, playing for Man City, that they're playing for the same. We were at the same moment. So we have to be aware of what they're playing for. We have to keep our standards very high. We have to make sure that we execute our game plan. We're very disciplined in what we do. And we have to defend very well, because we've been caught against transition against these, you know, on a couple of occasions. We don't want that to happen at the weekend.
And what are you expecting from the game this weekend?
I'm expecting, from my team, a performance the same as last weekend. I'm expecting an organised Bristol team that are going to fight and make it very hard for us. So we're going to have to make sure we move the ball, be creative, and in those moments, like we were last weekend, be ruthless when we get those moments in front of goal.
And obviously, it was a great performance against Tottenham. You know, you got Kristen Press scoring from a header, which you don't really see often. Ella Toon had a great game. How important is it, looking ahead to next season now, how important is it to finish the season on high?
Yeah. Kristen only scored in the semi-final against England with her head, so yeah, she can do it. It's important in terms of confidence and building for next season. Yeah, and ending this season as good as we can be with as many points as we possibly can. Because you just never know what can happen. We have to keep ourselves in a position where if anything does happen, we won't kick ourselves because we've dropped points. And it's about making sure that we play the season with enjoyment, with fun, with consistency and hard work.
And congratulations on the Manager of the Season nomination. Obviously, you know, you mentioned there that it's, even if you don't get the kind of achievements that you set yourself out for at the beginning of the season, it's a big failure for you. But to come out, you know, top 4 for a second consecutive season is a disappointment, but at the same time, it's a huge success, just outside the top 3. How do you reflect on the season? You know, outside of the disappointment that you might see at the end of the season, but it's been a lot of positives to take out as well.
I don't deserve the nomination for a start. I think there's people more worthy of that award than me. If I was to get anything from it, it would be from my players and my staff. I'm not worthy of it. I think I reflect on the season as a big learning curve. and also with perspective. Like, it's only our 4th year next year. We are closer. We're not close as I want to be, especially when we're sitting top at Christmas. But we also had perspective on that because other teams had games in hand. And also, recognising what we need in our squad throughout the summer to make sure that, we can really hit the ground running next season.
Right. Thank you, Casey. Good luck on the weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Phil, next, please.
Casey,
Hiya.
I just wondered what your take was on the job that Matt Beard's done since he came in at Bristol City. Sort of tough situation. Obviously, you could strike a bit of a sort of mortal blow to their bid to stay up at the weekend, but taking the results that they've had, what do you make of the job that he's done?
I think he's obviously changed things. They've gone from a 5-4-1 into a 4-3-3, more attacking, freed up the players a little bit. And I think he's done a good job. He's got results probably that I actually watched them against Brighton. They won 3-0 and they were excellent that day. Really good. So they are inconsistent, which you would understand. They're a very young team as well. And so I think he's done a good job. I think he's done a really good job. And I've known Matt many years. He was my number 2 when I played at Charlton. So I've known him many years, and there'll be no emotions on Sunday. We have to just get the job done, and we have to make sure we win.
That's great. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Phil. Emma, next, please.
Hi, Casey. Sorry.
Hi, Emma. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find the mute button. Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to ask quickly about Leah Galton, because obviously she came on as a sub the other day. How has she reacted physically? Is she doing all right?
Yeah, she's done okay. We've had to give her a little bit more recovery this week, just because with the foot injury that she had, we've given her some playing time. We have to see how it reacts a couple of days after, so we've given her a couple of days rest off the back of the game. Hopefully she'll be available again on Sunday, but we're just managing her. We're being sensible with her and making sure that she's right, so that she doesn't break down again.
Yeah, you mentioned before to Alex about sort of what you need to do in the summer. You've spoken about it before in terms of working hard for recruitment. I know you're going to try and get people in early for pre-season, but when you look at recruitment for next season, what are your priorities in terms of kind of the personalities of players you're bringing in, but also the attributes and the qualities that you want from them as well?
A little bit more experience, people that know how to win, and key positions really in terms of where we've fallen short this season. So we need a little bit more cover in certain areas, but I think people who know how to win and a little bit more experience, I think will go a long way in our team.
What are those key positions?
I can't possibly say.
Nice one. Good luck. Thanks, Casey.
Yes, thank you.
Asif, next, please.
Okay, so I hope you're well. Could I get your thoughts on the new financial model for the Women's Champions League, which was announced yesterday? Teams in the group stage are now guaranteed an income of £350,000. So is it a fear that if you don't make it this season,
I think,
the top 3 teams?
As if I'm going to stop you because I can't hear a word you're saying.
sorry, Asif, I think your signal might not be the strongest. We'll just try again. If not, we'll go to Tom and we'll come back to you.
Can you hear me now?
I think we're still struggling a little bit. I think we'll move to Tom and we'll come back if your signal gets a little bit stronger. Tom, if you want to go next.
Yeah, hopefully the UEFA money can help improve the Wi-Fi in all parts of the country. Hi, Casey. Nice to speak to you.
Sam, you okay?
I'm well, thank you. You answered about Leah. I just wondered if I could ask you about Alicia, who was on the bench against Spurs. How is she looking, and might we see her come on the pitch against Bristol City?
No, we're taking a little bit longer with her. She was on the bench, but we are going to take longer because it's right to take longer in terms of making sure she's physically right. She's had too many setbacks now. It wasn't right to bring her on the weekend, so we're going to manage her until the end of the season.
Okay, well, fingers crossed for her. And great to see Kristen back on the score sheet last time out. Obviously, lots of fans wondering whether she and Tobin will be able to stay with the club. Is there any update you're able to give us on their kind of likelihood of still being at the club come the start of the season?
I can't give any update on that at the moment. I'm sure you can imagine things here have been interesting, so I can't give any further update.
That's okay. And just one more from me. I mean, Bristol City, obviously last season, apologies for reminding you, but picked up a shock win against United. And I kind of, what have you learnt from that result, and what can you do to kind of to stop that kind of thing happening again?
That every game is as big as the next. The mentality is key, and I don't think we had the right mentality in that game. So it was a big learning curve, but we don't live in the past. We learn from it, we move forward, and we ensure it doesn't happen again.
Okay, great. All right, that's all I wanted to ask. Thanks, Casey. Best
Cheers,
of luck
Tom.
for the game.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tom. Asif, we'll just double check if your signal is strong enough. I think you're asking about the Champions League and the new format and the money involved. If you just want to come off mute.
Is that any better now?
Yeah, I think we can hear you okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the new financial model, which was announced yesterday. Teams in the group stage are guaranteed an income of £350,000. So is there a fear that if you don't make it this season, that the top 3 teams could pull away from them?
Champions League new model. Sorry, Isaac, I'm just going to translate because I think the signal was still a bit bad. New Champions League model, 350,000.
Yeah.
And if we are outside that top 3, what sort of impact that might have?
Well, I think obviously it has an impact if players want to play Champions League football and you don't make it in terms of recruitment. But I think with the business we're doing, all the players that want to come want to come. So hopefully we'll get our business done sooner rather than later. And yeah, obviously it has an impact on your budget. And despite what people think, we don't have the budget of the other 3. So it does have an impact, but also year by year we are growing. There's more investment. So all we can do is try and aim for that next season.
Okay, thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Isaac. Hopefully I translated that okay. If anyone